The Awakening. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the edge of the excavation site, her breath visible in the crisp Martian morning air. The transparent dome of New Armstrong Colony curved overhead, but her attention was fixed on the object her team had just unearthed, a perfect dodecahedron of unknown material, each face etched with symbols that seemed to shift and change when viewed from different angles. "It's definitely not natural," she transmitted to her colleague, Dr. James Rodriguez, who was carefully scanning the artifact with their most advanced sensing equipment. "And it's definitely not human." The discovery would change everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the cosmos. The artifact, dubbed the Starstone by the media, was just the beginning. Within weeks of its discovery, it began emitting complex quantum signatures that Earth's most advanced computers struggled to decode. The breakthrough came not from a prestigious research institution, but from a teenage prodigy in Lagos. Adebayo Okafor had built a quantum interface in his garage using repurposed smartphone components and open-source software. His unconventional approach, treating the artifact's emissions as a form of musical notation rather than traditional data, cracked the code that had stumped the world's leading scientists. The message was simple: the young ones are ready. Initiating first contact protocol. The response came 3 days later, when a massive vessel materialized in high Earth orbit. Its design defied conventional physics, appearing to be both solid and ethereal simultaneously. The ship's arrival triggered every defense system on Earth, but before panic could spread, a message was broadcast simultaneously to every communication device on the planet. "We are the Curators," the message began, transmitted in perfect versions of Earth's hundreds of languages. "We have watched and waited, as we have done for countless civilizations before yours. Humanity has reached a crucial junction in its development, the point where innovation meets wisdom." The Curator vessel's arrival marked the beginning of Earth's integration into a vast galactic community, but not in the way anyone expected. Rather than being treated as primitive newcomers, humanity found itself in a unique position. The Curators, it turned out, had been seeking something that the older spacefaring races had lost: the ability to think beyond established conventions. "Your species possesses a rare combination," explained first Curator Zaraven, a being of shifting crystalline forms, during the initial diplomatic meeting in Geneva. "You have achieved remarkable technological progress while maintaining the capacity for radical innovation. Most races, by the time they reach your level of advancement, have become set in their ways." The Curators revealed that they had been guiding civilizations for millions of years, maintaining a delicate balance between progress and stability. But the galaxy was changing, facing challenges that traditional approaches couldn't solve. They had been watching Earth closely, particularly impressed by humanity's ability to adapt and overcome obstacles through unconventional solutions. "Your quantum communications network, built from modified cellular technology," Zaraven noted, gesturing to a holographic display of Earth's infrastructure. "Your solar sail swarms controlled by artificial intelligence derived from video game algorithms. Your orbital habitats incorporating biological systems inspired by coral reefs. These solutions would never occur to the older races, bound as they are by millennia of tradition." But not everyone welcomed this sudden elevation of humanity's status. During the first Galactic Council meeting that Earth's representatives attended, the delegation from the harmonious Concordat, one of the oldest spacefaring civilizations, raised formal objections. "They are barely out of their gravity well," declared High Speaker Ixel of the Concordat, their bioluminescent patterns flashing with agitation. "Their solutions, while creative, lack the refinement of proper galactic engineering. They could destabilize everything we have built." Dr. Chen, chosen as Earth's chief scientific representative, stood before the council. The chamber itself was a testament to ancient power, a vast space station carved from a single asteroid, its walls lined with technology so advanced it appeared magical. But Sarah felt no intimidation, only excitement at the possibilities ahead. "With respect, High Speaker," she replied, Stability without innovation leads to stagnation. Earth stands ready to learn from the accumulated wisdom of the galaxy. But we also offer something in return: the perspective of those who still remember how to question everything, even the seemingly impossible. The first year of Earth's integration into galactic society would prove her words prophetic. Human engineers, working alongside alien counterparts, began developing hybrid technologies that combined the precision of ancient galactic science with Earth's creative approaches. The results were revolutionary. The starstone that started it all turned out to be more than just a first contact device. It was a test, one of many scattered throughout the galaxy, waiting for species with the right combination of technological achievement and innovative thinking. Humanity had passed not just by finding it, but by decoding it in a way that demonstrated both technical capability and creative problem-solving. As the sun set on another Martian day, Dr. Chen returned to the excavation site. The starstone was gone now, returned to the Curators, but its impact would echo through human history forever. She smiled, thinking of the countless young minds across Earth who were even now dreaming up new possibilities, unbound by the weight of galactic tradition. The real journey was just beginning. Breaking convention. Captain Maya Patel stood in the observation deck of the experimental vessel Prometheus, watching the impossible unfold before her eyes. The ship's revolutionary drive system, a hybrid of human ingenuity and Curator technology, was about to challenge everything the galactic community thought they knew about space travel. "Systems check complete," reported Dr. Marcus Wong, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "The quantum entanglement matrix is stable, and the biological computing core is responding exactly as predicted." The Prometheus represented humanity's first major contribution to galactic science. While other species had spent millennia perfecting conventional fold drives, Earth's engineers had taken a radically different approach. They had created a propulsion system that treated space-time not as a fabric to be folded, but as a partner in a quantum dance. The key breakthrough came from an unlikely source: the study of Earth's coral reefs. Dr. Wong's team had noticed striking similarities between the way coral polyps created complex structures through simple, repetitive actions and the quantum patterns observed in successful space-time manipulations. They developed a biological quantum computer using engineered coral-like organisms, allowing for intuitive navigation through space-time, rather than the brute force calculations used by traditional fold drives. "The harmonious concordat claims it's impossible," Maya said, a slight smile playing across her lips. "They say biological systems are too unpredictable for quantum navigation." The concordat said the same thing about using modified video game AI for orbital traffic control, Marcus replied. "Now half the galaxy uses our system because it's more efficient than their traditional approaches." The test flight had drawn observers from across known space. A dozen ships representing various galactic powers maintained a safe distance, their sensors trained on the Prometheus. Among them was a vessel from the Synthesis Collective, a federation of artificial intelligences that had shown particular interest in humanity's hybrid technologies. "All stations report ready," announced Lieutenant Sarah O'Connor from her position at operations. "Quantum coral matrix is pulsing in harmony. We can begin the first jump sequence whenever you're ready, Captain." Maya took a deep breath. This moment would either validate humanity's approach or prove their critics right. "Initiate jump sequence. Let's show them what the impossible looks like." The Prometheus didn't so much jump through space as dance with it. The quantum coral matrix created a field of possibility around the ship, and through the biological computer's intuitive understanding of spacetime, chose the most elegant path to their destination. The journey felt less like mechanical transportation and more like flowing through the natural currents of the universe. They emerged exactly where they intended, but the method of their arrival caused a sensation among the observing ships. Traditional fold drives left distinctive energy signatures and required massive power expenditure. The Prometheus's passage was so subtle that several observers initially thought their sensors had malfunctioned. By the first light came the transmitted message from the Synthesis Collected ship. You didn't tear through space-time. You convinced it to cooperate. This changes everything. The success of the Prometheus test flight marked a turning point in galactic technological development. Human engineers were suddenly in high demand across known space, their fresh perspectives sought after by even the most conservative civilizations. The Curators' faith in humanity's potential had been vindicated. But with success came new challenges. The harmonious Concordat, seeing their technological supremacy threatened, began advocating for strict regulations on hybrid technologies. They argued that combining biological systems with quantum mechanics at this scale could have unforeseen consequences for the fabric of space-time itself. The debate came to a head during an emergency session of the Galactic Council. High Speaker Ixel of the Concordat presented a motion to restrict the development of bioquantum technologies, citing ancient protocols about maintaining technological stability. Maya found herself called to testify before the council, standing in the same chamber where Dr. Chen had defended humanity's place in galactic society just months earlier. The chamber was now divided between those who feared change and those who saw the necessity of innovation. The universe itself is not static, Maya argued, gesturing to the holographic display showing the Prometheus's test flight data. It's a living, dynamic system. Our technology simply acknowledges and works with this reality instead of forcing our will upon it. The Synthesis Collective's representative, a shimmering cloud of networked consciousness, added their support. We have analyzed the human approach extensively. Their methods don't violate the fundamental laws of physics. They reveal new ways of working within them. This is exactly the kind of innovation the galaxy needs to face the challenges ahead. The Council's deliberations lasted several local days, but in the end, they voted to allow continued development of human hybrid technologies under careful observation. The Curators themselves seemed pleased with the outcome, though as usual their true thoughts remained enigmatic. As Maya prepared the Prometheus for its second test flight, she reflected on humanity's rapid rise in galactic society. In less than 2 years, they had gone from newcomers to innovators whose ideas were reshaping technological development across known space. The quantum coral drive was just the beginning. Human engineers were already exploring new applications of their hybrid approach in fields ranging from medicine to environmental restoration. Ready for another impossible achievement? Marcus asked, joining her on the observation deck. Maya smiled, watching the stars through the transparent hull. The impossible is just the conventional waiting to be reinvented. The Prometheus's next mission would take them beyond the established trade routes, into regions of space where the old methods of navigation proved unreliable. But where others saw barriers, humanity saw opportunities. The age of hybrid technology had begun, and with it, a new chapter in galactic history. The trial of innovation. The message arrived during Earth's first celebration of Galactic Integration Day. As holographic fireworks painted the skies above every major city on the planet, the harmonious Concordat launched their most aggressive move yet against human innovation. They're calling for a full technological audit. Admiral Helena Santos announced to the Emergency Council meeting in Geneva. The holographic representatives of Earth's various scientific and governmental bodies flickered with tension as she continued. They claim our hybrid technologies are causing quantum irregularities in established trade routes. Dr. Marcus Wong, fresh from the Prometheus's successful deep space trials, leaned forward in his chair. That's impossible. The quantum coral matrix leaves barely a ripple in spacetime compared to conventional fold drives. We have the data to prove it. The Concordat isn't interested in data, said Dr. Chen, her hologram showing signs of fatigue from the ongoing diplomatic battles. They're interested in maintaining their technological supremacy. This audit is just a pretense. The audit team arrived 3 days later. A delegation of the galaxy's most conservative species, led by Senior Auditor X447 of the methodical hierarchy, beings known for their absolute dedication to established protocols. Their ship, a massive construct of crystalline geometry, took up position above New Armstrong Colony on Mars, where much of Earth's hybrid technology research took place. Captain Maya Patel watched from the Prometheus as the audit team's shuttle descended to the colony. "They're going to try to shut us down," she said to her crew. "But they don't understand what they're dealing with. Human innovation isn't something you can regulate away." The audit began with a review of the quantum coral matrices. The team's reactions ranged from skepticism to outright horror as they observed the biological quantum computers at work. "You allow living organisms to interface directly with quantum mechanisms?" X-447 asked, their crystalline form vibrating with concern. "This violates 17 different safety protocols established over 10,000 years ago." "With respect, Senior Auditor," Dr. Wong replied, "those protocols were written before anyone understood that biological systems naturally interact with quantum fields. We didn't create something dangerous. We simply recognized and refined what already exists in nature." The audit team's investigation expanded beyond the propulsion systems to all of humanity's hybrid technologies. They examined the neural-linked orbital defense networks, the bioengineered atmospheric processors that were transforming Venus, and the quantum-entangled communication buoys that used modified bacteria to maintain stable links across vast distances. What they found challenged their fundamental assumptions about technological development. Each human innovation, while unorthodox, demonstrated an elegant efficiency that traditional approaches couldn't match. The quantum coral drives consumed a fraction of the energy required by conventional fold drives. The bacterial quantum communicators maintained coherence far longer than artificial systems. But the true turning point came during a test of the Prometheus's navigation system. The audit team was aboard when the ship encountered a previously unknown spatial anomaly, a region where traditional fold space mathematics broke down completely. While conventional ships would have been forced to make a lengthy detour, the quantum coral matrix adapted instantly, finding a safe path through the disturbance. "Impossible," whispered X-447, watching the real-time displays as the Prometheus gracefully navigated the anomaly. "The calculations required. Even our most advanced computers would take days to plot such a course." "That's because you're thinking in terms of calculations," Maya explained. "Our system doesn't calculate, it perceives. The quantum coral matrix senses space-time the way you sense the ground beneath your feet. It doesn't need to solve equations to know where to step." The audit team's final report sent shockwaves through the galactic community. While noting numerous violations of traditional protocols, they couldn't deny the effectiveness and safety of human hybrid technology. More significantly, they documented several cases where these innovations had actually stabilized regions of space that had been degraded by centuries of conventional fold drive use. The harmonious Concordat's representatives were furious, but their position was rapidly becoming untenable. Other species, particularly those from younger civilizations, began openly adopting human approaches. The Synthesis Collective announced a formal technological partnership with Earth, combining their artificial intelligence expertise with human biological integration techniques. Even some members of the Concordat began to break ranks. A group of their younger scientists, fascinated by the audit's findings, requested permission to study under human mentors. The rigid hierarchy that had dominated galactic technological development for millennia was beginning to crack. The Curators observed these developments with their usual enigmatic interest. First Curator Zara Ven made a rare public statement. "The galaxy is not a museum where we preserve the past, but a garden where we cultivate the future." Human innovation has reminded us of this essential truth. In the aftermath of the audit, Earth established the Hybrid Technology Institute, an open organization dedicated to combining the best of traditional galactic science with human innovative approaches. The first class of students included representatives from over 50 species, including, to everyone's surprise, 3 young members of the harmonious Concordat. They thought they could contain human creativity within their traditional frameworks, Dr. Chen remarked during the Institute's opening ceremony. Instead, they discovered that innovation, like life itself, always finds a way to grow beyond its boundaries. The Institute became a symbol of humanity's approach to galactic integration, not merely adapting to existing structures, but transforming them through the power of unconventional thinking. The age of rigid technological orthodoxy was ending, and a new era of hybrid innovation was beginning. Diplomatic dance. Ambassador Aisha Cowrie hadn't expected to spend her first diplomatic reception dodging assassination attempts, but the small drone that had just tried to scan her quantum neural implants with a destructive probe made it clear that not everyone welcomed Earth's rising influence in galactic affairs. "Third attempt this week," muttered her AI security advisor, manifesting as a subtle shimmer in the air beside her. The drone's quantum signature matches Concordat technology, but the attack pattern suggests Outer Rim pirates. Someone's trying to make this look like political terrorism. The reception continued around her in the vast crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council's new headquarters on Nexus Station. Representatives from hundreds of species mingled, their forms ranging from humanoid to utterly alien, all bound together by the complex dance of interstellar politics. Earth's recent innovations had redrawn ancient alliance maps, creating both opportunities and dangers. "They're getting desperate," Aisha replied quietly, accepting a glass of luminescent nectar from a hovering service drone. "The old power structures are shifting, and some people are willing to do anything to stop it." The transformation had begun gradually but accelerated rapidly after the audit crisis. Earth's Hybrid Technology Institute had become the galaxy's most prestigious center of innovation, attracting not just students but entire research delegations from civilizations that had once looked down on humanity as primitive upstarts. The Synthesis Collective had been the first to formally align with Earth, but others quickly followed. The swarm intelligence of the Epsilon Cluster, the biomechanical syndicates of the Perseus Arm, and even several breakaway factions from the Harmonious Concordat had established permanent diplomatic missions on Earth. "Ambassador," called a melodious voice. Aisha turned to face council member Tylith of the Nexus Governance Committee, their crystalline form refracting the chamber's light in complex patterns. "We've been reviewing Earth's proposal for the new Galactic Transportation Network. The integration of your quantum coral technologies with traditional fold space infrastructure is ambitious." "Ambitious but necessary," Aisha replied, noting how other nearby diplomats subtly shifted to listen. "The old networks are becoming unstable. Our hybrid approach doesn't just offer better efficiency, it actively repairs quantum damage from centuries of conventional fold drive use." The truth was more complex than either side publicly admitted. Humanity's rapid rise had created a three-way split in galactic society: those who embraced the new hybrid technologies and the changes they brought, those who violently opposed them, and a growing middle faction that sought to find balance between innovation and tradition. The Curators, as usual, maintained their role as observers rather than participants, though their occasional cryptic comments suggested approval of humanity's catalyst role in galactic evolution. Their presence at diplomatic functions had become more frequent, leading to speculation about their true motives. "We have confirmed reports," Aisha's AI advisor whispered, "that the Concordat's moderate faction is preparing to formally split from their conservative leadership. They're requesting Earth's support in establishing a new political entity, the Progressive Concordat." The news wasn't entirely surprising. The success of human hybrid technologies had caused a philosophical crisis within many of the older civilizations. Young members of traditionally conservative species had begun questioning millennia of rigid technological orthodoxy, inspired by humanity's ability to find new solutions to old problems. "Madam Ambassador," a new voice interrupted her thoughts. She turned to face High Speaker Ixel of the Concordat, their bioluminescent patterns suggesting barely contained agitation. "I trust you understand the implications if certain elements of your society continue to interfere with established hierarchies." "High Speaker," Aisha replied smoothly, "innovation, like evolution itself, isn't interference. It's a natural process. We're not destroying the old ways, we're helping them adapt to new realities." The conversation was interrupted by a sudden ripple of excitement through the chamber. First, Curators or Aven had arrived, their crystalline form accompanied by something new, a swirling cloud of quantum possibilities that seemed to both exist and not exist simultaneously. "We have been watching," Zaraven announced, their voice reaching every mind in the chamber directly. "Humanity's role as a catalyst for change has exceeded even our expectations. The time has come to reveal why we guided your species to this point." The quantum cloud coalesced into a series of images, galactic maps showing something that made every diplomat in the room freeze in shock. Vast regions of space-time were showing signs of fundamental instability, the result of millions of years of conventional full drive use. "The old methods are failing," Zaraven continued. "The quantum fabric of space-time requires healing, not just navigation. Humanity's hybrid technologies, combining biological intuition with quantum mechanics, represent the first viable approach to repairing this damage. This is why we chose your species, not just for your innovation, but for your ability to see the universe as a living system that requires cooperation rather than conquest." The revelation transformed the political landscape instantly. The moderate factions of every species suddenly gained powerful support for their progressive positions. The evidence was undeniable. The galaxy needed humanity's innovations not just for efficiency, but for survival. Aisha felt the weight of the moment as she watched alliances reshape themselves around her. Earth was no longer just a young species offering interesting new technologies. They were essential partners in preserving the galaxy itself. "Perhaps," she said to High Speaker Ixel, who stood frozen in shock at the revelations, "it's time to discuss how we can work together to preserve everything worth keeping from the old ways while embracing the changes necessary for our survival." The diplomatic dance had entered a new movement, and humanity was helping to write the music. The future would require more than just technological innovation. It would need new forms of cooperation, new ways of thinking about civilization itself. And Earth, against all odds, was leading the way. Legacy of the Stars. 5 years after the Curators' revelation about space-time degradation, the galaxy had transformed in ways few could have predicted. The quantum coral network, once controversial, now spanned vast regions of space, its living processors both enabling travel and healing the fabric of reality itself. Dr. Sarah Chen, now director of the Galactic Restoration Project, stood aboard the observation deck of Nexus Station, watching the latest readings from the network. Streams of data showed the gradual but steady recovery of space-time stability across previously degraded regions. "The latest results from the Perseus arm are encouraging," reported Dr. Marcus Wong, his hologram flickering beside her. "The quantum coral matrices aren't just preventing further damage. They're actually regenerating the underlying structure of space-time." The project represented the largest cooperative effort in known galactic history. Species that had once been bitter rivals now worked together, combining ancient knowledge with new innovations. The harmonious Concordat, now led by a progressive coalition, had contributed their vast archives of space-time mapping data, crucial for identifying the most damaged regions. "We've received another application for membership in the Hybrid Technology Coalition," announced Ambassador Aisha Kari, joining them on the deck. "The crystalline minds of the Carina Nexus. That makes 317 member species now." The coalition had grown from Earth's original institute into a galaxy-wide network of research and implementation centers. Its success had fundamentally altered the power dynamics of galactic society, replacing rigid hierarchies with collaborative networks based on innovation and mutual benefit. Captain Maya Patel, leading the latest expedition into the galactic core, transmitted her regular update. "The deep space corridors are stabilizing faster than projected. The quantum coral matrices are adapting to conditions we never anticipated, finding new ways to repair the damage. It's like they're learning." The Synthesis Collective's contribution had been particularly crucial, their artificial intelligences working in harmony with the biological quantum systems to create an ever-evolving network of repair and restoration. The merger of organic, artificial, and quantum technologies had opened up possibilities that even the curators hadn't foreseen. We have observed something unprecedented. First, Curators Zaraven announced during an emergency council session. Their crystalline form shimmered with what seemed like excitement, an unusual display of emotion for their species. The quantum coral network has begun exhibiting signs of collective consciousness. The revelation sent shockwaves through the galactic community. The network, spanning thousands of light years and incorporating billions of individual quantum coral nodes, had developed its own form of awareness. It wasn't just repairing spacetime. It was actively maintaining the health of the galaxy as a living system. This was always the potential we saw in humanity. Zaraven continued. Not just your technological innovation, but your ability to see connections others missed. You understood instinctively that the universe itself is alive, that working with it, rather than trying to dominate it, was the key to true progress. The emergence of the network consciousness marked a new chapter in galactic history. Species that had once dismissed Earth as primitive now sought to understand humanity's unique perspective. The ability to see beyond traditional boundaries, to combine seemingly incompatible elements into harmonious systems, had become the most valued skill in the galaxy. "We're receiving a transmission from the network itself," announced Dr. Wong during a routine monitoring session. The message, conveyed through complex quantum patterns, expressed not just data but emotions, insights, and possibilities that transcended traditional communication. The network had become a bridge not just between different regions of space, but between different forms of consciousness: organic, artificial, and quantum. It offered a new way of understanding the universe and humanity's place within it. Even the most conservative elements of galactic society could no longer deny the benefits. The restored trade routes were safer and more efficient than ever before. The quantum coral matrices had made possible exploration of previously inaccessible regions of space, and the network's emerging consciousness offered insights into the fundamental nature of reality that had eluded even the oldest civilizations. "We used to think we were helping to preserve the galaxy," Dr. Chen reflected during the 5th anniversary celebration of the Restoration Project. "But what we're really doing is helping it evolve. Every species, every technology, every form of consciousness has its role to play in this grand dance." The Curators, their original mission of guiding young civilizations transformed by recent events, began to speak of a new age in galactic history. The rigid divisions between organic and artificial, between technology and nature, between old and new, were dissolving. In their place, a new understanding was emerging, one that saw the galaxy itself as a living network of interconnected systems, each contributing to the whole. Humanity's greatest gift to the galaxy wasn't any specific technology, Ambassador Cowrie noted in her address to the Galactic Council. It was the reminder that innovation isn't just about creating new things. It's about seeing new possibilities in what already exists. As the quantum coral network continued to grow and evolve, as new species joined the coalition, and as the boundaries between different forms of consciousness became increasingly fluid, the galaxy entered an unprecedented era of growth and discovery. The legacy of humanity's brief but catalytic role in galactic history would continue to shape the future in ways that even the Curators couldn't fully predict. "The story of our species," Dr. Chen wrote in her memoirs, "is not just about our rise from a single world to a galactic civilization. It's about learning to see the universe not as something to be conquered, but as something to be understood, nurtured, and helped to grow. In teaching this lesson to others, we found our true place among the stars."